Hello everybody, my name is Will, and welcome to the very first ever Witch's Castle Deck Tech. This is the YouTube channel Witch's Castle. We do game stuff here, and today the game we're talking about is Magic the Gathering, and specifically we're talking about a CEDH deck tech. So today I have for you guys my Rasputin CEDH list. Admittedly, it's unconventional. Truth be told, you have probably never seen anybody play either this commander in general or play this commander at a CEDH tournament. The only reason I think it might have any legs is because of the recent bannings. Dockside getting banned, Jeweled Lotus, Mana Crypt, because Mana Vault's still available. I believe it's actually in this list. Yep, Mana Vault's still good. So yeah. With those three principal cards, and obviously Nadu getting banned, it's slowed down the format enough that we might actually be able to get away with this. He's a bit higher costed of commander, but he kind of makes up for it in what he actually does. So Rasputin Dreamweaver is 4, a white, and a blue for a 4/1 human wizard. He enters the battlefield with 7 dream counters, and you can remove a dream counter from him to either add a colorless mana to your mana pool, or to prevent the next 1 damage that would be dealt to him this turn. And at the beginning of your upkeep, if he started the turn untapped, you put a dream counter on him, and he can never have more than 7 dream counters. So this guy's a mana battery. That's what we're using him for. He entering with those 7 counters, you can actually remove them at instant speed, and there's nothing on him that lets you or stops you from removing them all at once, basically. You can remove them all one after the other immediately to create 7 colorless mana, and for a 6 cost, him netting you at least 1 mana is kind of nice. But straight up getting 7 colorless mana opens the door for a lot of big, ridiculous spells. I put Expropriate in here because if you can get Rasputin out, you can just drop the 7 off of this card, basically, and be like, cool, 2 blue. Make everybody cry a little bit, basically. Let's see here. Things like Savine's Reclamation, the flashback cost becomes much cheaper. Cyclonic Rift now becomes a single blue for Overload. Eldritch Immunity is one of the spicier pieces in here. Being able to overload it with Rasputin, like you cast him and go, crap, I can't really win this turn. I need a way to kind of protect the fact that this is very, maybe not immediately clear to people that it's a combo piece, but once they kind of catch on, they'll read the make 7 mana part and figure out pretty quick what you're trying to do. So being able to remove a bunch of those counters and protect all of your creatures from something. So yeah, he removes all those counters, makes a bunch of mana. You can also protect him from Orcish Bowmasters with this ability. If you cast him and aren't necessarily planning on removing all of the counters immediately to cast a big, ridiculous spell, you can make sure that you have counters available to protect him from getting shot by Bowmasters. People will see that 1 toughness and be like, boom, got it. Not concerned about it at all. But if you choose not to remove all those counters immediately and protect him from a couple dings, they're going to have to start wasting more resources on him than it might be worth for Bowmasters to be pointed at it. I'm not sure, truthfully. And you'll use some of these blink spells to help reset him, some of these other blink enablers, something like Displacer Kitten. We put Eldrazi Displacer in here, because he actually goes infinite with our commander. You can basically use his activated ability, Rasputin's, to remove all 7 counters, use 3 of the 7 mana you've generated to exile him with Displacer, and bring it back tapped. He'll come back with a fresh 7, and you're still floating 4 of the previous mana. So you'll be able to remove those counters and float that mana every single time, netting you infinite colorless mana. What we actually do with the colorless mana in this deck, we have a couple of options for that. We're running the Heliod Walking Ballista combo, so you can give him lifelink, put counters on him, remove the counters, and ding people, yada yada. But if you have infinite mana and you have Walking Ballista in hand, you don't even need the Heliod to actually be able to win. You just cast the Walking Ballista on infinite and shoot everybody with it that way. So it's a little more flexible in a deck like this, where your commander is actively part of a mana-producing combo, especially an infinite mana-producing one. Walking Ballistic goes from just being a, like, Heliod combo piece to, oh, this is technically now a 1-card combo with my commander if I go infinite. Obviously, you have to go infinite with it first, so it's closer to like a 2 or 3-card combo, but you don't have to worry about actually hunting down Heliod if you can just make infinite mana. Another thing we do with the infinite mana in this deck is find literally anything that has cool activated abilities we can dump it into. We've got a Prophet of Distortion in here, just because it's a draw outlet, and it's a 1-cost creature with 1 power, so it's fetchable with these two, the Ranger Captain and the Recruiter of the Guard. One of the other things we like to do with infinite mana in this deck is dump it into this Prophet of Distortion. He's really easy to find with the Recruiter of the Guard and the Ranger Captain. And yeah, I mean, he doesn't do a whole lot other than be a generic outlet for infinite mana. In a pinch, if you have no other card draw engines, you totally could dump a handful of mana from Rasputin into him and just blink him a couple times with some of these one-off blink effects. But ideally, you're not really trying to use that guy for this. He's not very good for actively just getting cards. There are much better options within this pile of cards themselves that are better at actually getting you cards in a hand. So the Prophet of Distortion is basically just an outlet. You're really only going to look for this card when you're going to try and win after you've made infinite mana, or you know you're going to be capable of it and you need to find it in advance. We also really, really like big spendy artifacts. So we're running Chimmel in here. It's a 6-cost artifact. If it's in hand the first turn that you cast Rasputin and you can get it to resolve, this card's really good. Spells you control can't be countered. It's a 6-cost. You can even get it out without removing all of Rasputin's counters, which is really nice. Same with God Pharaoh's statue here. Chromatic Orrery, on the other hand, is a really big one for this one. It being 7 cost means you can get it out with Rasputin immediately, and it actually produces 5 colorless of its own. So if you've already got Rasputin out and you drop a Chromatic Orrery, and you also have the Displacer in play, you can now make infinite mana and spend those infinite mana however you want. So you can cast through pretty much anything that you have left in your hand. If you have ways to draw a decent amount of cards, you can turn those out. But being able to convert Rasputin's mass of colorless mana into usable stuff is one of the better options you can acquire. Like, if you see a hand that allows you to develop Rasputin and Chromatic Orrery, chances are you're going to be doing pretty okay. Can't guarantee you'll win the game, but you'll at least get to play a little bit. Me not being able to guarantee you can win the game in what's supposed to be a competitive format. There's 4 people. It makes it a little bit harder. Let's see here. 1 ring, obviously. And then Staff of Domination actually just goes infinite with our commander once we have the infinite mana, because you can use it to draw the cards and then untap the staff itself. So there's a couple of cards that you can play after you've basically cast your commander and managed to find a way to go infinite with it that lets you actually use that mana to do something. Portal Phyrexia is just good. Straight up just good. And you can't cast it immediately off of Rasputin, but being able to take a somewhere between 4 and 7 mana discount off of Portal to Phyrexia, depending on how many counters you have on him. Whew. Juicy. The Vidalcan Orrery is a little cheeky, I'll admit that. I think I only like it here because I have Rasputin, but admittedly, I'm also running Valley Floodcaller. So I'm running Valley Floodcaller, and we're also running Born Upon the Wind. So which of these flash effects ultimately stays overall in the long run? Yet to be determined. Playing around with them a little bit. This is kind of the early stages of the deck, so to speak. So I guess it's a deck tech with a little ellipses next to it, because there'll be updates coming. I don't have any particularly super juicy tech in the lands. Oh, except for Talon Gates. Rasputin 4, done. You can either protect him or blow up something. Well, blow up. You can phase it out. So you can just drop Rasputin and pass and make everybody go, why the heck is that guy holding 7 mana open? You're holding 4 for Talon Gates. And we are running an intuition line in here. We actually have a couple of different combinations for what you can look for with this. So you obviously you're going to search for your Sevinne's Reclamation, and then you can either search for the Eldrazi Displacer itself, because it's a 3 cost, and Staff of Domination, because it's also a 3 cost. And basically, both of these cards let you go infinite and draw your whole deck if you have Rasputin in play. So if you intuition for Reclamation, Eldrazi Displacer, and the Staff, regardless of the combination they give you, if you can cast the Sevinne's Reclamation from your graveyard that turn as well, you just win, because you'll have the Displacer and you'll have access to the Staff of Domination. So that's one of the lines you can go for. But yeah, this is the pretty basic layout of it so far. It's in some early playtesting stages, getting some games in with it while I am working on it. It's definitely a work in progress for sure, but I really love Rasputin. He's just such a weird, obscure, cool card, and I think with how slow the format has gotten recently, we might be able to push something like this more. Well, I mean, Tivit's a 6 cost commander. I saw a Hidetsugu and Kairi deck take a top 4 place recently, and that's a 5 cost commander that's just in blue and black. Talion's been doing pretty okay, who's just blue-black, so I think some of these other 2-color, maybe a little bit slower, but like more all-in style decks where they're like, okay, this is my commander and this is its gimmick. I'm all in on how powerful that gimmick can be. I mean, Kinnon's gotten to where it is because people saw that. Admittedly, he makes a boatload of mana and has card advantage as an option built into him, but the format's been getting pushed enough in regards to ways to draw cards and put cards into your hand, period. We might actually be able to see something like this push through a little bit. And that's it, folks. Thanks for stopping by today and checking out the deck tech. Please go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you liked what you saw. Go ahead and give this video a like because it makes my heart feel happy. And if you would go ahead and subscribe and ring the little dingus bell so you get a ring-a-ling every time we get a new video up on the channel. This has been Witch's Castle, and I am Will Castle with a deck tech for you today. There will be more stuff coming in the future, not all of it magic related, because frankly, I pay attention to too many things, too many hobbies. If I can put a hobby on camera, it's probably going to be on this channel. But I really like talking about magic, so that's what I wanted to start with. Groovy. Alrighty, guys. I will see you all later. Bye-bye.